Sup y'all, we back. And we got a bit of crazy news, honestly. There's a lot to go over in the video, so I'm gonna just jump straight into it. First thing on the agenda, Dan Hooker pulled out of the Justin Gaethje fight with a broken hand injury. 2 weeks until the fight happens, honestly, I'm broken. There has been a few fighters to raise their hand as a replacement, considering it's only 2 weeks out. I say only 2 weeks, but I'll get to late replacements in a minute. Fighters like Fiziev, Moicano, and Gamrot all raised their hands online to say like, hey yo, give me the call. And honestly, I'm not too mad at any of those fights. Probably Fiziev's, just because if I had to pick a personal one out of the three, I would want Gamrot to raise his hand just because I'm a fan of Moicano and Fiziev, and I don't want to see them get brutalized by Justin Gaethje, especially Fiziev's again. I need him to come back strong.
12 seconds later.
Don't let me leave, Merv! No! 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 No!
But yeah, I'm not mad at the replacement ideas for Gaethje. Hopefully Gaethje can still fight when it comes time to. He also needs a good return after his last outing, getting knocked out in the last second of arguably the greatest highlight reel moment in MMA of all time. In other news, there has been huge drama over the main event this past weekend with Song Yadong going against Henry Cejudo. Let's be very clear, this entire card was a banger. Knockout after knockout after finish after finish after finish. It absolutely delivered and more. The only problem is the main event. But Song and Cejudo had a good back and forth in this fight. Arguably Song winning more of the rounds out of the 3 that they fought. However, during the rounds, he did end up catching 2 fouls, kicking Cejudo, hitting him low blows, hitting him in the no-no area. And this is before the eye poke. But when the eye poke did happen towards the late end of round 3, Cejudo shoots forward and Song on a frame ends up hitting 2 knuckles deep into both of Cejudo's eyes. It's fucking brutal, I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's not sugarcoat that shit. That shit is fucking terrible. That sucks. Cejudo took his 5 minutes, like the full 5 minutes, and honestly, I don't blame him for it. Let's not forget, Adesanya just got knocked out for not taking any break when he got poked in the eye. The man was literally bleeding from the eyes. I will say this, it's not a good look when he sat down and like threw his hands up like this when the crowd started booing. I think sitting down in that moment, even though you were like standing around for 5 full minutes just doing nothing, it's just not a good look. But Cejudo gets back in the fight. He fights the rest of the round, and then round 3 ends. He tried to legitimately get back into the fight, but when he got back to his corner, he told his cornerman, yo, I can't see. I cannot see. There was a whole bunch of weirdness going on with the referee. It was just really awkward, weird, stupid shit. But eventually, the result of the fight ends up being a technical decision towards Song Yadong. If you ask me, this fight should have just been labeled a no contest. Cejudo was willing to keep fighting. It's just medically he couldn't keep fighting, and it's not like it was a doctor stoppage. Song should have at least had a point taken away. I think the whole technical decision thing is just really stupid, especially since the fight didn't get to the decision. This is a 5-round main event. It stopped at 3 rounds. I think it was just really dumb all around, but I hope it doesn't taint the rest of the card, because the rest of the card was fucking gnarly. But in other news, moving on to a different sport, boxing, Beterbiev and Bivol had their rematch, and Bivol got his revenge. He is now the new undisputed champion of the world. This was a very competitive, close fight. Like, honestly, one of the most impressive boxing fights I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's such a good fight. Beterbiev was doing amazing in the beginning half of the fight, but then as the fight progressed, he kind of tended to slow down. Again, very close, very competitive fight, but by the end of it, it was kind of obvious that Bivol had won it. I know his ex-wife is mad as fuck.
Артур, да! Потому что карма настигла Бивола. Иди к своей Мармарихе! Я была права!
Mate, shut the fuck up.
Arturo! But it's a good moment for him. They're saying a trilogy might happen, and honestly, I'd be down to see a trilogy of that. Who the fuck wouldn't? Do I think the result is going to change? Honestly, no. I think we'll see a very similar product in the 3rd fight if they did have a 3rd fight. I'll get back to the card in a second, but I want to talk about something that happened today as I'm recording this. Chris Eubank slapped an egg across Conor Benn's face during their face-off after the press conference. We've seen fighters push each other and slap each other, and all sorts of shit happen at the weigh-ins, especially over on the fucking east side of the world. But to slap a egg on somebody's face, bro? Even the eggs came in here to see you get yo.
So you better try to concentrate like orange juice. Why's that? Cause you about to get beat to a pulp. You used to be that guy. Now Sriracha the one. I try to coach catcher. Cause I got the sauce in these buns. Quit banging with Prego. Reppin' pasta. That'll get you shot in the slums. Hey, yo, tomato. Yes, sir. That's how you talk to your son. And there it is.
There was a full brawl that went out because of this, obviously. Nigel Benn, Conor Benn's father, actually ended up grabbing Eubank by the fucking throat. Eubank immediately got to trolling online afterwards. I was excited to see them fight, but now I'm even way more excited to see them fight. Back to the Bivol Beterbiev card. Looking at the co-main event, unfortunately, Daniel Dubois pulled out 2 days before the event actually took place. Pulled out of the co-main event against Joseph Parker, and immediately they actually found a replacement in Martin Bakole. Now, I don't know shit about Martin Bakole, honestly. I only know him from his last fight, but he's excited exciting to watch. The way that he'd be fighting, throwing them hooks mad casual and shit, throwing them uppercuts mad casual. It seemed like a suitable replacement, but it did not go well. Martin Bakole was so underprepared for this. First off, he had been called up in Africa on the Congo just chilling 2 days before the event and said, fuck it, I'm gonna show up. Spent most of the 2 days before the fight actually just traveling on planes. Ended up actually landing at like 3 a.m. the day of the fight. No sparring, no nothing, I'm not even sure exercise was done, given the shape of him, no offense. He still had Daniel Dubois' gloves on, and he had like the shorts from his last fight. He had really no time to prepare for a Joseph Parker, who was in like prime physical condition because he was gonna fight Daniel Dubois. But Bakole ended up actually doing good in that first round. Like, he was landing good shots, and I was watching the pay game stream. It's not an uncommon opinion to say that Bakole might have edged that round, if not won it. And he was looking good throughout, you know, the second round. But then he got hit with this fucking monstrous flush right hand on the cheek. He shakes it off like nothing, but then he gets hit with another one that like bops him. He gets bopped on the top of his head, and then like he does like a delayed reaction, like fallback jig, kind of like what Bobby Green did. And yeah, he fucking collapsed. He fell. And honestly, Usyk and AJ's reaction video to that is like one of my favorite things to come from the event. It's one, wholesome as hell, but also funny as shit. That is how rivals are supposed to be, in a sportsman-like, respectful, professional manner. And it's just cool to see, man, because they act just like fans. But yeah, Bakole ends up getting up roughly at the count of 7, but then the fight is called off. Round 2, first knockdown, it's over. Bit of speculation on who actually ended it, whether it was the referee or the corner, but it seemed like the corner was the ones that called the fight off, and there seemed to be a bit of controversy over the subject. If you ask me, if I'm Bakole or his team, his coach, I'm getting my boy in. The minute I see there's trouble, I'm getting him out. Like, let's be honest, this fight didn't really do him no favors reputation-wise or visually, but he had an opportunity and he took it. Either way, this is my update on everything. Feeling good after getting 1-0 in my amateur debut. And yeah, I'm excited to be back making videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. Comment your thoughts on all the different things happening in combat sports today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what kind of fighters and prospects I should be looking out for, whether it be on the MMA or boxing side. Put me on, don't put me off, alright? So subscribe 2025, and I'll see y'all later. Yeah, bye.
My secrets and my heart is what I gave to you. In return, you see nothing but a lame excuse. And it's wow, I did everything just to see you smile. I've been thinking about you for a while. Responding to your pics and your vids. Now I see you just do it for the gram. And you talking on your man.